Welcome, my engineering people. This is one of the cooler projects we're going to work on because it's really actually detailed, but it doesn't feel that way because we've mastered it. This spring power of a mousetrap is what we're going to be using to power a car that looks like this with CD wheels. And what ends up happening is a string gets tied around the end of this dowel rod out here and wraps around this connection, an axle for these wheels. And as you release the pressure, there's going to be a string that's unraveling and pulling this dowel back into its resting spot, all powered by this spring. So there's a lot of physics and engineering that goes on in the world that you just don't see, and break things down and show you how to design and make something like this really cool project work really well, and explain why it's working so well as we go. So my goal for this video is to get all of you to this point where we're building the frame or chassis of this car and axle mounts. So for students who are gonna be able to fly through this, here are your measurements. We're starting off with a center point rectangle and pulling it out and then cutting this section out before we make it 5 millimeters thick. And we're going to start sketches on the outside edge of this frame to draw these circles, which are actually cut pieces of Bic pen, so you all know exactly what this looks like. We're going to take a cutter and we're going to take a piece of pen after taking the ink part out, and that's what these are going to be, to hold a piece of wood that'll go through as an axle mount. This is what the process looks like from the beginning. Start a sketch, go to the top plane. You're going to be looking for a center point rectangle. I always repeat myself with this. Anything you use often, you can check this and it locks that tool up here. So I'm going to click center rectangle. My measurements, once I just start drawing the rectangle, you're going to just type in for the vertical measurement 280, 280 total. Press the tab, T-A-B, on the keyboard. That means we can start typing in this measurement down here. 80. Enter. So it's 280 by 80. And then we need a 25 by 30 cutout in here. So there's this create point. I can use to just drop a point for reference. I click this dimension tool and click on the point in the corner so I can have a 25 millimeter offset for the beginning of this rectangle. I'm going to go just the regular rectangle, 2-point rectangle. Click, let go, drag. We want this to be 25, type in 25, tab, 30. So it was 25 on both sides. I did the math and subtraction that was necessary to know that 50 on each side and the leftover minus 80 is 30 for the center point. And you just take the scissors, trim, click and drag through that bottom, because that's what we're looking for. Click the green check mark over here, finish the sketch. Use your middle finger, click to rotate if this doesn't do it automatically, and then extrude. And 5 millimeters. I enjoyed taking this, right clicking on it, changing the appearance to something wooden. Right from the beginning, I I went to this. What did I use? Walnut glossy. Is that it? I'll use mahogany semi-gloss. So that's the board you're going to cut out. I'll give you the partially cut piece of this. You're going to end up cutting this out once we get on the machines, and create a sketch. And very carefully select the side of this board. Center diameter circle. I'm going to do this over here. Whoop. I'm going to pull it out just away from the board and put a measurement of 10 millimeters in. And then you want to offset the outside circle inward, -2, -2. Just like so. And then we're going to lock this to the board by using a tangent control. Click this, the outside edge of this circle, and the bottom of the board. And put a measurement in from the center point to that point. You might have to do this and move it around until you get something that looks horizontally stable like that. Type in 10. You want it to be a 10 millimeter distance from the end of the board to the center of the circle. This is a piece of pen. Now, click line. Over here, really anywhere down the center line. This is the center from left to right, and we're going to mirror. Click mirror. It says in this menu that pops up, select the objects. It highlights that. I want to click this set of circles. Then click where it says select from the mirror line. Click that. That's just a midpoint line, so you have this mirrored and hit finish sketch. So you now have, if you right click, do that, those two sketched. We're going to turn this outside circle set into the pen tubes. Click extrude. Click inside here. Inside there, carefully. You're going to type -20 because you want it to go backwards. -20 millimeters. Enter. Just like a pen tube glued to the bottom. Flip this around. Create sketch. We're going to create the sketch on this side of the board. Now we're going to project. We're going to take what we've already done and use it to our advantage. You're going to click that button right there, geometry. You're going to select outside, inside edge, side circles. Same thing with here, and then just hit OK. Click those 4 circles with the project, and what you've done is you've projected the sketch circles over here to the new sketch. And now all you've got to do is hit this finish. That would be my dog, just waking up and shaking her head. Click these. Notice you can select things before you hit these tools, or you can hit the tool like extrude. Gotta undid that selection. And this one, so I take it back. And do another -20 this way. -20, enter. So now you've got the beginnings of this with just the wheel mounts and the frame. We'll add the rest in the next video. See you shortly.